Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Crafting ABC with Scrap and his Craft Corner. Today we're still at the letter C and today's word is actually going to be Cricut. Cricut is a cutting machine made by Craft, and they started out having a little one that can cut up to pieces from 12 by 6 inch I think. Later they came out with the Cricut Expression. This is the one that I'm going to show you a little bit more about today. The Cricut Expression can cut up to 24 inches. Like the usual mat size is 12 by 12 inch and the larger mat is 12 by 24 inch. You can cut paper with it, you can cut cardstock with it, you can also cut vinyl. They're like all sorts of materials, felt, fabrics, all kinds of materials you can cut with a Cricut. The newest model they have is the Cricut Imagine. This one is even more amazing because there you only need white paper. It's gonna print out what you want and then it's gonna cut it. So that's perfect. That's the one that I really wish for to buy one day. Okay, what else? They also brought out a Cricut Cake. I have that one, just not here in Germany with me. That's staying at my boyfriend's house. The Cricut Cake is a Cricut where you can cut food materials with it, like the fondant for cake, or probably cookie dough as well, maybe cookie dough or cheese. I don't know, I haven't tried it out yet, but I definitely will in March. Okay, back to the Cricut. So what you need, or what you get with your Cricut, you get a cutting mat. This is an old one, I just tried to renew it a little bit because you don't usually get them here in Germany. So your cutting mat is sticky. See, it's kind of sticky. That's for the paper to stay in place, so that when the cutting machine actually starts cutting, you don't want the paper to move with the blade. You want it to stay on so that the blade actually cuts it nicely. It also comes with 2 cartridges usually. Those are not the 2 that come with it. That's just 2 I picked out, like, let's say, going places. And on the back of the cartridge you have a couple of images that it can cut. Let's see, I have my community already out. So what's in there is the actual cartridge. It's kind of like a little memory stick that you put into the Cricut, so the Cricut knows what to cut. You also have a layer, or a layer tablet. You put that on top of the buttons. I will show you later. You put that on top of the buttons so you know which button to press for the results that you would like to have. And it comes with a little handbook. The handbook shows on every side every button that it has and what you can cut with it. So you have on every button, you usually have, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different images that you can cut. Usually they're only layers of the first image of that button, or maybe the second. Like, let's see over here. You have the pencil and you have the crayons. And then the buttons over here. Here you have the layers for the crayons and the layers for the pencils up there. You have the shadow button and the blackout button. And you also have puzzle pieces with the crayons in there or the pencil. You have tiles with the pencil in there and the crayons. And you have a little notebook pad. So it's kind of the same image usually, but it has just some special features. The shadow button is actually a little bit thicker. Like there's like a little shadow around the image that you already cut out. So that when you want to have like a black shadow around it, that's the shadow button you need to push. And the blackout button is, let's say you have a butterfly and the butterfly has dots that are cut out, so they would be, you would remove them from the picture. If you hit the blackout button, it's the same size of the image. It's not like the shadow button a little bit bigger, it's the same size, but those cutout pieces would just not be there, so it would be just the basic image. I hope that makes it a little bit clearer. So that's what comes with the cartridges. I definitely have over 20 right now and I still don't have enough. I think Craft usually brings, like, every month they bring 3 or 4 new cartridges out. which makes it really hard to keep up with it, because I mean it's a lot of money that they sometimes cost or can cost, but it's worth it. Like, pick the ones that you like and you will definitely get some great images out of them. Okay, back to the topic. Cricut. I put out a few things that you should have or could have with your Cricut. Definitely must have is the spatula. I will show you in the video. I will cut something out later for you with the Cricut, so I will show you what you need the spatula for. I don't have the whole toolkit because I heard several people talking about it that they don't really need it and not really use it. I only have those two. A spatula and the, I don't even know what it's called, the toothpick? It looks like a toothpick for me. That's for smaller pieces. When you cut something out and there's a really tiny circle that you push it with that so it stays in there or gets out or whatever you want to do with it. So those are the basic two tools that I have for it. I also have the deep housing blade. This will allow you to cut things that are like more thick. Let's say you want to cut really thick cardstock. You can do that with a Cricut. It definitely will do it for you. But you will need the deep housing blade for it, and also the deep housing blades. Not the housing, also the blades, if that makes sense. I never used it yet, so it's totally new. Maybe one day I will use it, if not, who knows. What I also have, I have much more, just a few to show you. I have the pens. Those are like markers. They're not too thick, not too thin. You can put them directly into the Cricut. I will show you that later too on the video when I'm changing the camera settings. Where you have your blade right now, you just remove your blade and put the marker in there. It says on the pens how the markers, how to have speed and pressure so that you don't damage actually the pen, your markers. You don't want that. And if you keep that, it does some really great jobs with it. And I will show you the markers and the cutting, because my boyfriend and I, we are starting to look kind of for a house. Like, not really, because it won't be 2 more years till I actually move there. But I'm crazy. I like planning ahead of time. So we decided we go house window shopping the next time I'm there. And we want to get like a little binder together where we can keep all the informations about our little dream house, that in case we build one or we find one, we just keep some informations in there. So I actually thought that was a really cute idea that he said I should design it for us. I usually don't have the time right now because I'm working on a bunch of papers, but okay. So those are the basic things that you have that come with the Cricut. Like, you don't need the pens, and you can live without the spatula and the picky thing, the toothpick thing, for a while. You will definitely get 2 cartridges, you get 2 mats at least, you get the normal blade, and you're ready to go. So I will put everything on my mat, change the settings of the camera for a little bit, and then I show you how to work with the Cricut. Okay, so this might get a little shaky because now I have the camera actually in my hand. I try to hold still as much as I can. Okay, so what we have here, that's the cartridge. You plug that in here. It's plugged in, and it's gonna realize, see, it says, oh, well, it said my community. So it actually recognized the cartridge. That's how the buttons look without the layer. So you put the layer on there, and now you can see what button you need to push to get the image that you want. I have 2 pieces of paper, and I'm gonna cut out a house that is on this button, and then I'm gonna do the layer for it. Let me get my handbook so I actually know what to press. Okay, just a real quick, that's the on and off button, as the symbol says. Every time you actually start it up, it's gonna unload every map that's in there. So let's see, what other buttons do we have here. We have the multicut. I always have multicut on, I don't know why. I'm not explaining every button to you, just a few. Autofill is a really good one. If you want to do a lot of, like, let's say you want to do a whole page 12 by 12 of stars. You put in the star, a cartridge with the star, press the button. You can change the sides here, the size. So let's say you want it at 2 inches. You press autofill, and it's going to cut as many 2-inch stars on that paper as it can. You have 2 wheels over here for speed and pressure. Okay, so I'm just going to cut my house because it probably would take too long to explain every button. So there's the load paper button. You have the mat in there, and now that I load it, it actually loads the paper. It's kind of dark, hold on. It's probably a little bit better at least. Okay, so now that we have the paper in here, I want to use that house over here, and I would like to cut it at, let me just think real quick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's say I want to cut it at 5 inches. So I'm using the wheel. It shows you the image right here. So if you're not sure if you have the right image or you had the right button, it shows you what it's going to cut right here. So we have this over here. Now I'm using the size wheel to get it up to 5, let's say 5 1/4. 5 1/4, 5? Yeah, I use 5 1/4. It should get pretty big. I have my blade at 5, which is I probably always have it too deep. I have my speed at 3, and I have my pressure at 3. And I'm just gonna press cut, and it's actually gonna cut it. Now I want to do the layers on black. So what I do is I hit the layer button. That's the one up here, and hit the house button again. And now it's going to show me up here. Let's see what it's going to show me. It's going to show me the layers of the house. So as you see, it kind of scooches them together to save as much paper as possible. I also put the speed on 5 now, so you can see what the difference is. I'm just going to press cut, and it's going to start cutting. Okay, so we have here now the finished cutting project. We have the house up here, and we have the layers for the house over here. So what we are going to do, we're going to use the spatula. Oh my gosh, that looks like a mess over here. Go under the paper and remove the out. I always remove the outside first. I don't know why. And then you can go under the actual image that you wanted it to cut. And it just helps you to remove it from the sticky mat. Like some parts might be a little sensitive, and so it just helps you a little bit. So here we have that cutout house, which I think turned out really cute. So now you saw what the Cricut can do. That was just the cutting part. Like I said, you can also put in the markers, and instead of all the cutting lines, the marker would just like draw all the lines there. So that's actually a really good one too, because sometimes you just don't want to cut out certain letters, and you just put that thing in, and it's going to write them for you on the paper. Perfect. Yeah, so I hope you liked my little, really tiny introduction to the Cricut expression, or Cricut in general, because just because the expression has the bigger mats, the Create, like the older versions, the smaller ones, they work pretty much the same. You're just some small little differences to the bigger one now. Yeah, and stay tuned, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to make another video for the last C one. See you soon. Bye bye.